Okay, let's get you in stand here. So, these previous hand covers are way too small, so we're making them bigger. Quite a bit bigger. Again, this is going to be smaller than you think because, well, we're going to lose a 1/4 inch in every direction because of the surge. But I measured them out. They're not going to compress the hand so far that it looks like a thalidomide child. Anyway, I marked to measure these out. I'm going to pin them up and then surge them, and then we'll put them on the dummy. Well, the doll. Those are dummies. This is a doll. Okay, so as you can see, they're marked out. They're 4.5 inches wide, which is losing a 1/4 there. It's going to be 4 1/4 wide, which isn't bad. And they're 11 inches long. So, 11 inches. Well, let's do it this way. There's 11. So they'll go up to about there. And they'll stitch on. They were previously stitched on up here, but they'll stitch on about there. They won't compress the hand so much that it is malformed or deformed. And then we'll hand stitch in the finger lines, which should make it look relatively good. I'll show you when I got one on, so we got a comparison. Well, I'll show you before I put it on, then I'll show you when I got one on. Okay, so I got these serged out. Let's see what one looks like when we turn it right side out. As you can see, it fits over the hand, doesn't compress anything. When I pull it, it will compress a little bit. So it's about the right size. There's one. I'll stretch them into place, and I'll show you what they look like. Have it. One stretched in place. Going to do the stitch, well, I'm going to attach it at the top here, then I'm going to do the stitch rows to mark the finger lines, which is going to compress it further. It'll probably be about like that. So a little bit compressed, but not a lot. And it'll pull it up a little bit too. So, drastic improvement on the hands. And once that's done, then I'm going to have to go buy some paint and work on the face. But I'll show you when the hands are all stitched and properly finished. We're going to make some fish. We're going to cut one out of either side to tighten up the wrist here. So those will go on the serger again. Then they'll be put back on. Then they'll be stitched at the top. Then they'll be stitched along the fingers. That'll tighten it at the wrist. It'll make it a little more delicate looking. And the stitching on the fingers will thin the hand a little and will also shorten the hand a little. So it won't be the size of my hand. It'll be a little smaller, a little thinner, and a little more dainty. More feminine, as it were. Okay. So I'll get that done, and I'll show you when they're all stitched in place. The fish at the wrists are in place. There and there. Bit of a point there, but that's okay. That'll be fine. And already looks a lot better. Let's check the other side. Yeah, definitely an improvement. Okay, next I'll do that edging and hand stitching. We'll see what happens after that. All right, so now we got a finished hand. Smaller than mine, the compression worked. Shortened it by a couple inches, thinned it by a couple of inches. Stitched in place, so everything works. That's the left hand done. Now I do the right hand. But it can be tomorrow because it's getting kind of late and I'm sick of hand sewing right now. You know, all the time I spend working on this doll and sitting here sewing and complaining online, a lot of people have been saying, oh, you should get out more social, you should get a girlfriend. I'm thinking about it, and I don't need a girlfriend. I got a cat. Ain't that right? There. Right hand's done. All stitched on. Left hand's done. All stitched on. Everything's good. So, I'll push it back on the stand here. There. So, next step. Hands are done, feet are done, legs are done, head's done. Next step, I gotta go buy some acrylic paint and get some detail chalk. Draw on the face, draw on the eyes, paint on the lips, eyebrows. Make sure everything's where it's supposed to be and looking good. And then I gotta find a wig, or 2 wigs and make one out of it. After that I have to do clothes. So, all in all, I think it's worked out pretty good. Okay, there's your update. Talk to you after I get some paint.